Hello and warm welcome to weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First a look at the highlights. Climate Change and Adaptation Strategies Workshop held, World Book and Copyright Day celebrated, and a musical concert held at Convocation Complex. Now the details of all these events with your host Safina Wani. Department of Earth Sciences organized a one-day workshop, Climate Change and Adaptation Strategies. The workshop deliberated on the strategies required to adapt and mitigate the impacts of climate change in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The workshop was held in the EMMRC auditorium. A poster exhibition showcasing the research work conducted by the faculty and research scholars of the Earth Sciences Department was displayed. Head Department of Earth Sciences Professor Shakil Ahmed Ramshu, while delivering the inaugural remarks of the workshop, said that climate change and its impact on water resources is a thrust area of research. He further added that the workshop was organized with an objective to showcase the research work undertaken on the Ladar watershed.
We are particularly focusing on the Upper Indus Basin. When we talk about the Upper Indus Basin, we mean the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir. That is an Upper Indus Basin. And more particularly, we are focusing on the Jhelum Basin. Now, if you look at the Jhelum Basin, those of you who have a hydrological background or understand the hydrology, we have divided Jhelum Basin into 24 watersheds, we call. Like we have administrative districts in the Kashmir, 6 administrative districts here. So similarly, we have divided Jhelum Basin into 24 watersheds. And today, this workshop is to showcase our research on one of those watersheds. That is Ladar. Why we have chosen Ladar, and many of us in Kashmir know why Ladar is so important to us. I mean, if out of these 24 watersheds, if somebody tells me which are the most important watersheds, as far as the contribution to the Jhelum is concerned, whether it is the surface water, whether it is the glacial, groundwater, or whether it is the snow melt or ice melt, it is Ladar and Sindh. We call it Sindh. I mean, basically, if you look at the catchment of this, it is all that, Ladar Valley is the catchment of all those.
Member, National Green Tribunal and former Dean Academic Affairs, Professor A.R. Yusuf, said that it's the time to identify the elements and factors which are inducing erratic climate change, for which all sections of the society have to come together to evolve an effective and long-term strategy.
In the last 50 years, there have been changes. In the last 100 years, there have been changes in the winter temperatures, winter mean temperature, mean maximum, this minimum and mean maximum and average temperature. They have been changing and progressively they are increasing. And if this trend goes on steadily, then of course it will have the impact on the not only climate will be changed, but that ultimately what do we mean by climatic change? If climate changes, then of course it will have effect on, we are concerned about ourselves and our environment. That is, it will have impact on the biotic associations, on the ecosystems. And when ecosystem changes, then automatically the speciation will change. And that is going to happen, and that is happening even. And we have been observing it not only common man, but scientific studies have also taken place, as Professor Shakil Ahmed Ramshu's group has been there working on different components. Particularly they have studied on the glaciers in Suru Valley and Ladar Valley and other these parts of Kashmir Himalayas. And from their studies we find that our glaciers are retreating, and that retreat is considerable.
Dean, Faculty of Physical and Material Sciences, Professor Akil Ahmed, said climate change is impacting the life and economy of every individual in our society.
Erratic weather patterns, even the June that used to be one of the hottest months is comparatively colder. Change of growing seasons, early blooming of flowers, erratic paddy planting due to erratic weather in the valley, shifting of the tree line in upper reaches of Himalayas, changes in the biodiversity of the forests. As observed elsewhere, this part of the globe has also witnessed increase in temperatures, and that has affected not only the biogeochemical cycles, but about the lifestyles of the Kashmir Valley. Climate change is very much evident in this state. We have witnessed since our childhood that the amount of snowfall is decreasing over the years. Particularly, we are witnessing more freak weather events. I mean to say, extreme weather events like cloudburst, storms, gales are increasing.
Mr. Umair Ahmed, Program Executive of FNST, said that the participation of common people in every decision making is very crucial for the success of policy planning.
You can have laws, but if the incentives are to change, to adapt, or to bypass those laws, people will break them. Because the long-term costs are not coming into their short-term calculations. They're making the calculations of, I have to send my child to school. I have to buy, this much of meat for the wedding. I have to pay this vazwan. Those are very short-term costs. It does not calculate the price of paddy 10 years in advance. It cannot.
A documentary on climate change produced by EMMRC was also screened during the inaugural function.
Upper Indus is known for huge water reserves in the form of snow and ice. Leather Valley is known for its lush green pine forests, pristine water resources and tourism.
Director EMMRC Dr. Shahid Rasool, while releasing the documentary, told audience that global warming is stalking us seriously.
We in fact have earlier also made one film on climate change and the global warming and how it's impacting the Kashmir as such. Because as all of you know that few years back we used to believe that this climate change and global warming, these are Western concepts. And probably the societies, smaller societies like ours, don't have to bother much about this. These are some discussions that take place in Geneva and New York and Washington. But nonetheless, in our earlier film, we have been able to showcase how the Valley of Kashmir is getting affected by the climate change.
Registrar Professor Zafar Ahmed Rishi, while talking about the contents of documentary, said that one of the major crops of Kashmir, that is apple crop, is going to see steep down production in the coming years.
And I must also basically tell you that this documentary needs to be taken a step further because the apple crop is going to be strongly affected by the climate change. There are two reasons why the apple productivity is going to come down very severely because of climate change. One is that the apple requires some amount of, say, chilling during winter, then alone it will flower. Now, if you have warm winters, there is every likelihood that you may have a crop failure. This is one reason that it can be a disastrous for a place where the economy is entirely dependent on these orchards. And then if your crop fails, it can have very devastating consequences for this place. Second reason is that this is a common experience with all of us, that the apple has started flowering earlier. Because one of the implications of climate change vis-a-vis the plant species is that the flowering would be advanced.
EMMRC faculty Mr. Tariq Ubla, the producer of the film on climate change, also spoke on the occasion with regard to his film.
And I will be looking for your suggestions, as the Registrar Sahab has pointed out a very important aspect which need to be incorporated, which should have been incorporated in the film, but experts are here. If they have some suggestions how this documentary can be taken ahead and made more valuable, so that it can be showcased at many forums and podiums.
Later, technical sessions were held in which many delegates presented their papers. Vice Chancellor, University of Kashmir, Professor Talat Ahmed, while giving a presentation on the rise of Himalayas, climate and feedback, explained the role of tectonics in influencing the patterns of monsoons in India.
One of the biggest sources, if we talk about anthropogenic activity and machineries and vehicles to put, but the huge amount comes from the volcanism which is happening all through the life of the earth. There are some issues which relates to the climate change and which is related also to geology, is the input of carbon dioxide into the system, into the atmosphere.
Professor Talat said that if land erosion has to be arrested, one has to go for vegetation drives.
If we have to arrest erosion, we have to have more and more vegetation. Okay? Most of the problems in the Himalayas, particularly the lakes like what we have here, Dal Lake and many other parts of the Himalayas, is because of deforestation. Lots of trees have been cut and the catchment area has been exposed, so you have more and more sediments coming in, shallowing of the lake, shallowing of the river, and that is going to make us to face more and more flood until unless we do something about it.
The technical sessions was followed with a question-answer session. On the occasion of World Book and Copyright Day, Allama Iqbal Library organized a one-day seminar on book reading and plagiarism. The seminar was held in the Ibn Khaldun Auditorium. University librarian Dr. Abdul Majid Baba, while presenting the inaugural address, introduced the topic of the seminar.
In today's function, we have addresses by the dignitaries on the dais during the inaugural session and other invited speakers during the afternoon session. They will speak on pleasure of reading, print and electronic books, plagiarism, or we can say piracy. We have also arranged practical demonstration of plagiarism softwares. As already told, in addition, we have arranged a rare book exhibition of great poet Mahjur's collection. 3 fluent users of Allama Iqbal Library shall be felicitated today. During the afternoon session, in addition to lectures, there will be brief time slots in between the lectures for question-answer session about famous books and famous authors, and the participants from the audience who answer correctly shall be honored with prizes on behalf of Allama Iqbal Library.
Dean Academic Affairs Professor A.M. Shah, while delivering the keynote address, stressed on inculcating reading habits among young generations, developing good research ethics and motivation to hard work.
Knowledge is becoming very important. You know, we have to basically think in terms of superior knowledge. The levels of competition if the younger generation are becoming very tough. We have to start thinking about how in our generation we can develop reading habits and those attitudes which are very required. If I connect this thing to plagiarism, sometimes we are talking about technology. When I was discussing with one of my friends that when we use this, is there any acceptance level? He said that if there is plagiarism from 10 to 20%, this level is acceptable. So my dear friends, I again here believe that what is important is that we must inculcate in our generation with the reading habits that what is honesty, what is attitude. And if we start talking about the attitude, right attitude, and that right attitude will make us, for example, a lot of research scholars join with us. It varies from person to person, a guide to guide. I have come to this conclusion because a lot of teachers are here, scholars may be here, because a guide may make a student work very hard and try to inculcate at his level good values in him. The other guide may be very honest, but he may not bother from what the scholar is doing. In fact, the great responsibility is on our shoulders to see to it how we groom our scholars from day one. Means thereby how we make them to understand that this is the way of research and this is the way which is going to pay you in future.
Producer EMMRC Mr. Ijazul Haq emphasized on the audiences that imagination should be the driving force and basic motivation behind any piece of writing and not plagiarism.
Plagiarists are like pickpockets. There's a broader theme of the day as they had proposed, that a challenge to the academic world at present. They use guile to pinch their bit and make sure that they are not caught pinching. For these lifters, technology has come both as a blessing and as a curse. It has made lifting easy but escaping impossible. Google is like a lie detector, and I wonder that why do we still try to evade it? It beeps the moment we try to smuggle anything out of it. Technology has posed a serious challenge for academics to restore scholarship the sanctity it's known for. Scholarship does not lie in the volume, but in the rarity of thought and in the freshness of expression. Let this go as a message on the book day.
Senior Professor Professor M.A. Sophie impressed upon audiences to use technology only as facilitator and not as a shortcut to one's understanding.
The question is, has it made any difference to our lives? The answers may vary and depend upon our own personal perspectives, our personal approach towards things. But let me tell you, the fact remains that it has not made life that much richer as one would expect. It has facilitated transmission of knowledge, of information from one point to another. But has it really enriched us? I seriously doubt if it has. You see, as I said, there's no shortcut to understanding, to comprehension. To understand a piece of literature, to understand a piece of science, a piece of mathematics. It is the human mind that has to be brought into the play. And that entails a certain amount of physical labor, a certain amount of will, human will, that has to be brought in and summoned. Computer and technology doesn't do that for us. And when we compare our contemporary times with the times when Einstein was around, when Newton was around, when Wordsworth and Keats and Shelley were around, when Wittgenstein and Nietzsche were around, do you think that we have been able to even remotely replicate the kind of works that they had created? The answer is no. There have been huge strides, no doubt, even in recent times. But in terms of the sheer intensity, the sheer usefulness of those pieces of work, it's unparalleled.
Later in the day, the Professor Sophie distributed awards to the most frequent users of Allama Iqbal Library in one academic year. A book exhibition was also inaugurated after the event. Department of Students' Welfare organized a one-day musical concert. The musical concert was held in the Convocation Complex. The musical concert saw the performance of violin maestros Mr. Ganesh and Kumaresh. They performed many hours for the audience. Here's a glimpse of musical concert. That's all for today's episode. To watch all the episodes of Quest, log on to our website emmrckashmir.com. Send us your suggestions at email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. Persons who are self-taught are usually avid and quick learners.